Joining us now with more on birds, Kate Hogan with the Audubon Society of Greater Denver. Good to see you.
Good morning.
Talk about the Audubon Society of Greater Denver. What do you provide for our community?
So we're a nonprofit organization, and we specialize in connecting people with nature, educating them through conservation and research. So we manage the Nature Center at the south end of Chatfield State Park, and then we also offer birding field trips and programs throughout the metro area.
Now in the wintertime, you don't think, hey, I can go bird watching or look up in the sky and really see some cool birds, but you can see raptors.
Yeah, and actually you can see a number of different birds in the wintertime. That's one of the animals that you really can depend on seeing when you go outside. So raptors, you can see bald eagle. Obviously, we just spotted a bald eagle at the Nature Center this past weekend. Wow. You can see woodpeckers, you can see blue jays.
There's so much out there.
There's a ton. They're very active, even in the wintertime.
When will your group gather to see raptors again?
So the next program where you can book in to do a field trip with us is going to be Sunday, the 22nd of January, and we have a whole group of volunteers that have been through a master birder training, and they're leading that trip. So they are the best people to go with to be able to spot animals.
I can tell you love your job. I mean, you have a lot of fun, and the Denver Audubon Society, you really make learning fun. You have some great programs, including a series called Conservation in Colorado.
Yeah, so Conservation in Colorado was something I'm really passionate about conservation, and so I wanted to do something kind of different where it allows adults to get together and sort of talk and share with each other. So we have a number of different organizations that are coming out to the Breckenridge Brewery Tasting Room in Littleton in the evenings on Wednesdays. So the next 3 Wednesdays they'll be there. So we have different topics, including the USGS, so U.S. Geological Survey. They'll be out tomorrow night actually talking about how they look at different pollutants in our environment and look at water quality and how they kind of assess that. So we have different industry professionals that are going to share with us on how they help sort of monitor our environment and keep it clean for both us and wildlife.
Okay, and that's taking place at Littleton Breckenridge Brewery.
Yeah, the Breckenridge Brewery Tasting Room. They were a really generous donor. They let us come in and use their facility, and you can order beer, which is great.
Which is nice. It makes a great night.
Yeah.
All right, so at home, if we want to watch birds, is it as easy as putting out some water, a feeder, grab some binoculars?
Yes, absolutely. So birds love to be able to have water this time of year. Fresh, clean water is huge because so many of the natural water resources are frozen over. So making sure that they have some fresh water that's not frozen is huge. And then also being able to put out bird seed, because a lot of the birds that are here right now are going to be seed eaters.
Right.
Yeah.
And you have an event taking place February 3rd.
Yeah, Saturday, February 4th.
Oh, 4th.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, so Saturday, February 4th is going to be the Great Backyard Bird Count. And so that's where the Nature Center is going to be open to anyone who wants to come learn about who are the birds in our backyard right now, and also how to be a citizen scientist. So we actually, the Great Backyard Bird Count is one of the largest snapshots of bird populations globally. Oh. So they rely on people to look at birds for 15 minutes in their own backyard, and then they can put that data in on the computer, and it allows us to kind of know who is in our neighborhoods and what the birds are doing.
So I'm looking at my notes here, Kate, and it says go more native in our gardens. How does that attract birds? What do you mean?
So when I say go native, I mean plant native.
Okay.
So plant native plant. So one of the big things that we're seeing, especially in the metro areas, with so many different people moving in from other parts of the country and a lot of different housing subdivisions going up, a lot of these native plants are getting lost. And what ends up happening is if you replace that with grass or you replace it with really pretty exotic plants, it really can hurt our native pollinators like our bees, our butterflies, and also our birds. And so like last summer, I put in something called hyssop. So it's a wild flower. I put it in my garden. Less than 10 months, this summer I had hummingbirds coming to my backyard.
Really?
And I don't have a very like grandiose backyard because I manage plant gardens as part of my job.
Right.
So I don't do it a ton at my house, but I literally just substituted 3 to 4 plants and put in something native, and we had hummingbirds coming every day for like 2 weeks.
I love seeing hummingbirds too.
Yeah.
They're so fun to watch. Share some tips on how to maintain bird feeders and then bird baths.
Yeah, so it's really important that you actually make sure that your bird baths and your bird feeders are clean, because birds can actually pass disease. So it's just like people, you know, if you all eat off the same plate, then chances are somebody could get sick with something. So making sure that you disinfect bird feeders a couple of times a year is huge. So using something like bleach water, obviously with just a little bit of bleach, not too much, or using something like Simple Green, which is kind of more eco-friendly. That's really important to make sure birds don't pass diseases to one another.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
You have a lot of fun events,
yes,
including Rock Those Binocs. What
yes,
and when is that?
Rock Those Binocs can can happen anytime. It's actually not a specific event. So for me, that was my tagline I came up with for 2017. I really wanted to encourage people, especially kids, to get out and use their binoculars, because I use them not only for birds, I use them to help me spot all sorts of different things. You can look at the moon using binoculars, so really just being able to have those binoculars ready and handy can help you get a closer, kind of more intimate experience with wildlife, no matter where you are outdoors.
Speaking of wildlife, I have geese sometimes outside of our building here at work. And someone told me it's a big no-no. You shouldn't feed geese or duck bread. Is that true?
Yes,
Why?
that's true.
I feel so sorry for them. I think they're hungry. I want to feed them.
Right. So actually, a lot of people don't consider the fact that they wouldn't be eating bread in the wild. And so what happens when we eat a big bowl of pasta or you eat a big sandwich, those carbs expand in your stomach and you feel really full. What happens with birds is because they have to be so lightweight to fly, if you feed them things like bread, it can actually weigh them down. And in some cases, they can be weighed down so much that they actually can't take off and fly at all. And then also younger birds, people don't think if you feed like a baby duck, they grow, they're almost full grown within 2 months. And so if they get some bread and it doesn't have the nutrients they need, it can actually cause bone deformities, and then they can't fly at all.
I feel horrible now. I thought I was doing a good thing.
No, I know. It's people really, I know the intention is good, but it's a matter of education.
Quickly, your parents just moved here from Oklahoma. You want to say hi?
Yeah. Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. Tom and Diana.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Welcome to Colorado.
I know. I'm glad your daughter's doing great things here. Garden and bird lovers, learn more about our feathered friends. For details and to register for different events and tours, please visit this website. Just go to denveraudubon.org. You can also call 303-973-9530. That number, 303-973-9530.